Hello, my name is Hugo Vera, and I'm an executive director of Lawrence Opera Theater, and we would like to welcome you to our One Voice from a Distant season. Um, and we're very excited for you all to be here, and I'm especially excited about our program for today. And we are um, giving you a small glimpse of Black composers and throughout history, and there's been many, and this is just a few. The singers are all locally, they're all from here, from Lawrence or Kansas City, Topeka, and we're very excited to have them perform for you. They will introduce themselves, they'll give a brief introduction of the composer, and without further ado, I want to welcome our pianist and music director for this project, Neal Long. Please give him a round of applause.
Hello, my name is Monica King, and I will be singing Cassandra's Lullaby by Mark Fax. Mark Fax was born in 1911 and was a child prodigy, a teacher, and a composer. He graduated from Eastman School of Music and was a professor and a dean at Howard University in Washington, D.C. for 25 years. His overall focus was not to get his compositions published, but to educate his students and to write music for his university. So a lot of his compositions aren't very well known. His compositions range in genres including solo vocal, choral, operatic, symphonic, chamber, and solo instrumental works, and he is most well known for his organ works. Mark Fax composed 2 operas, and Cassandra's Lullaby is an aria from his opera titled Christmas Miracle. The woman in this aria is sweetly singing to her baby brother while he's sleeping, praying that the peace and love of Jesus will be with him.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aniello Barone, and I'm so honored to be sharing this composition with you by William Grant Still called Grief. William Grant Still was an esteemed composer, notable for his 5 symphonies and 9 operas. His first symphony, the Afro-American Symphony, was the most performed American symphony in the United States for 20 years between 1930 and 1950. Still had the distinction of being the first Black composer to have an opera performed by a major company, as well as to have an opera production nationally televised. Still was also an accomplished conductor, becoming the first Black conductor of a major American orchestra. Now, a little background about this piece I'll be singing. In 1953, a friend of Still's named Leroy Brandt felt compelled to write a poem after walking through a cemetery and studying a monument of a weeping angel. Brandt penned something which he would send to Still to set to music, and the collaboration resulted in this piece, Grief. Weeping angel, with pinions trailing, and head bowed low in your hands. Mourning angel, with heartstrings wailing, for one who in death's hall stands. Mourning angel, silence your wailing, and raise your head from your hands. Weeping angel, on your pinions trailing, the white dove promise stands. Weeping angel, with pinions trailing, and a head bowed low in your hands. Mourning angel, with heartstrings wailing, for one who in death's hall stands. Mourning angel, silence your wailing, and raise your head from your hands. Weeping angel, on your pinions trailing, the white dove promise stands.
Good evening. My name is Natalie Boos. Today I will be singing In the Springtime by Betty Jackson King. King was born in Chicago in 1924. She received her early music training from her mother, Gertrude Jackson Taylor. She completed her bachelor's and master's degrees at Roosevelt University, where she also taught in music and directed at the high school choir in the public school in Wildwood, New Jersey before her retirement. From 1979 to 1984, she was president of the National Association of Negro Musicians Incorporated. She has written many choral works, art songs, and various arrangements of spirituals before her death in 1994. The song In the Springtime was written in 1976. It was found in the Art Songs and Spirituals by African American women composers.
do sing. Hey, ding, a ding, ding. Sweet lovers, love the spring. Sweet lovers, love the spring.
Good evening. My name is Grace Heldridge, and I'll be singing For You There Is No Song by Leslie Adams. Leslie Adams was a composer born in 1932. He writes predominantly for the voice in choral works, art song, and music drama. His influences include jazz and African American folk songs, and he creates a contemporary classical piece using these. Today I will be performing the third song out of his 5-piece song cycle, the 5 Malay songs. For you there is no song, only the shaking of the voice that meant to sing, the sound of the strong voice breaking. Strange in my hand appears the pen, and yours broken. There are ink and tears on the page. Only the tears, only the tears, only the tears have spoken.
Good evening. My name is Will Simpson, and I will be singing Soliloquy by John Work III this evening. John Work III was born in Tullahoma, Tennessee in 1901. He grew up in his father's church choir, where he was introduced to music. He went on to get composing degrees at Juilliard and Columbia University. And he is most known for his sacred works, spirituals, and art songs. If death be only half as sweet as life, I will not fear, I'll shed no tear. laughter echoing down a lane, or I will follow willingly the soft spring rain around the river's bend. If death be only half as sweet as life, I will not fear to go. I love life so. I love life so.
Hello, my name is Tori Joy Searles, and I will be singing Love, Let the Wind Cry, How I Adore Thee by Udine S. Moore. Udine was a native of Virginia, born in 1904, and she described herself as a teacher who composes, not simply a composer who teaches. As a professor at Virginia State University, she co-founded and co-directed the Black Music Center. As a composer, she created over 100 works, including compositions for piano, small ensembles, choir, and solo voice. Her compositions were inspired by her exposure to spirituals and slave songs while growing up. She began composing while studying piano at Fisk University and later pursued her Master of Arts in Teaching at Columbia University. She also received musical training at Juilliard, Eastman, and the Manhattan School of Music. After her many years of learning and collaborating with other musicians, she taught music theory, piano, and organ for 40 years at Virginia State and is known for her research and presentations on Black composers. Love, Let the Wind Cry, How I Adore Thee sets poetry from the ancient Greek poetess Sappho and is highly influenced by European Romanticism.
Love, let the wind cry on the dark mountain, bending the ash trees and the tall hemlocks with the great voice of thunderous legions. How I adore thee. Let the hoarse torrent in the blue canyon murmuring mightily out of the gray mist of primal chaos cease not proclaiming how I adore thee. Let the long rhythm of crunching rollers breaking and bursting on the white seahorse titan and tireless tell while the world stands how I adore thee. Love, let the clear call of the tree cricket, frailest of creatures, green as the young grass, mark with his trailing resonant bell note how I adore thee. But more than all sounds, surer, serene
You're gonna like this one first.
I'm Jacob the Sett. Good evening. I'll be singing Home from the Wiz. The Wiz is this monumental musical composed in 1973. Let me take this off so you can hear me. And it was a monumental musical composed where it was the first Broadway performance of an all-black cast. And it was specifically for an all-black cast, and this led the way for a future of possibly more acceptance in the Broadway career. Composed by Charlie Smalls. He's an American songwriter and composer who got his education at Juilliard at the age of 11. And he went on to compose The Wiz, where he got the Tony for Best Score, and then he shortly passed away later. So I hope you enjoy. I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall trees bend into leaning. Suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the scene makes it all so clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection, and just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time, be my friend, let me start again. But suddenly my world's gone and changed its face, but I know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I've watched it growing. Oh, if you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know if we should believe the things that we see. Tell us, should we run away, or should we try and stay? Or would it be better just to let things be? Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy, but it's taught me to love, so it's real, real, real to me. And I've learned that we must look inside our hearts to find a world full of love, like yours, like mine, like home. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sydney Simpson. Florence Price was a black female composer from Little Rock, Arkansas. She studied at the New England Conservatory of Music, and her symphony in E minor was the first work by a black female composer, to be played by a major orchestra. By her death in 1953, she had composed over 200 pieces for piano, organ, choir, orchestra, solo voice, and many other instruments. So this is Songs to a Dark Virgin by Florence Price.
Would that I were a jewel, a shattered jewel, that all my shining brilliance might fall at thy feet, thou dark one. a flame, but one sharp leaping flame to annihilate my body. Thou dark one.
Hello. Hi. So, of course, my notes are all moving around, but that's okay because it's better than being hot. Well, I mean, I ain't lying. Okay, so my composer is Scott Joplin. He is known as the king of ragtime. If you ever heard the song The Entertainer, ba, 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 that, there you go. He is originally from North Carolina, and he studied at Sedalius George R. Smith College for Negroes. Oh, well, sure. Give her a round of applause, folks. It's good to have roadies. And he not only went to school there, but also taught there for a while before he decided to aim his life more at composition. Ragtime was very popular between 1895 and 1919 until his death. He died at a very young age of 48 due to dementia, complications due to syphilis. It was very popular in the Romantic period. Don't even get me started. Something interesting about Scott Joplin in terms of ragtime is that he actually stated, and I quote, "Ragtime music in America has been here since the Negro has been here, but white people took no notice of it until 20 years later." And this is in 1895. Joplin also composed 2 operas, A Guest of Honor in 1903, which was confiscated because of non-payment of bills and is now known as lost. And his other opera is Tremonisha, which actually Opera Theater St. Louis performed, but sadly, that opera was not performed during his lifetime. In 1976, he won a Pulitzer Prize. This is obviously way past his death. And now to the piece. The piece is known, is called A Picture of Her Face. And what's really interesting about this piece is, one, this was the second composition he ever composed. And two, if you think about A Picture of Her Face in 1895, cameras were not very popular. And the idea of remembering a loved one, you remember them when you saw them, and then there was nothing to remember them by unless you were rich and had someone paint that loved one. So to have a composer write a song and mention a photograph is something very new at the time, and this is in 1895, and a novel. So this is A Picture of Her Face, words and music by Scott Joplin. This life is very sad to me. A sorrow fills my heart. My story I will tell to you. From me my love did part. The village church bell sadly tolled the one I loved had died. She was a treasure more than gold. When she was by my side, but now she's gone beyond recall. In a silent tomb she sleeps. The one I loved, yet best of all, has left me here to weep. Though death so ruthless stole my love, my dear and only grace, I've yet a treasure in this world, a picture of her face. It brings joy to me when oft times sad at heart, her picture I can see, and sad thoughts then depart. Although my love is dead, my only darling Grace, my eyes are oft times looking on a picture of her face. I'll never forget the days I've passed with Grace so kind and true. She was to me each day more joy than all the girls I knew. My love for her will never grow cold, though she has passed away. I'll love her still when I am old, even to my dying day. But now I must content myself her memory to love. For Grace, the darling of my heart, is in the land above, but still to cheer me at my home, an image of dear Grace is all the treasure I now have, a picture of her face. It brings joy to me when oft times sad at heart, her picture I can see, and sad thoughts then depart. Although my love is dead, my only darling Grace, my eyes are oft times looking on a picture of her face. special applause to the fire truck. Woo!
Hi, my name is Brianna Perez, and today I'll be performing a piece by B.E. Boykin. She was born in 1989 and is a native of Virginia. She got her undergrad degree at Spelman College in Atlanta, and then got her master's at Westminster Choir College. She is still obviously writing. She's pretty young. And she is currently working with the Glee Club at Spelman College and is the interim director of choral activities at Agnes Scott College in Georgia. The piece that I'll be performing today is called Secret. The poetry is from Gwendolyn Bennett, who was very active during the Harlem Renaissance, and I hope you enjoy.
I shall make a song like your hair, gold woven with shadows green tinged, and I shall play with my song as my fingers might play with your hair deep in my heart. I shall play with my song of you gently. I shall laugh at its sensitive luster. I shall wrap my song in a blanket blue like your eyes are blue, with tiny shots of silver. I shall wrap it caressingly, tenderly. I shall sing a lullaby to the song I have made of your hair and your eyes, and you will never know that deep in my heart I shall shelter a song for you secretly, gently, tenderly, secretly.
So I'm basically the entertainment while they're setting up. Thank you so much for coming. I know that we're living in some crazy times, and I mean 2020 has been a interesting year, right? Well, that's one word I can think of. There are many more, but we felt, our company felt, and the performers felt that we needed to still provide music, and because it's very important, even now, even more so now than ever, that we share something that can bring some kind of light. And those that are out there in live stream land, thank you so much for tuning in. We are a nonprofit organization. We base everything on ticket sales and donations, and it's very difficult for me to talk about it because I hate talking about it, but we have to bring it up. And if you feel so inclined, you know, and even though right now there are many of us who don't have to give, if you feel so, go for it. If not, thank you so much for coming anyway. A couple of things that are going on. This isn't the only time, the only performance that we're giving. Tomorrow we are actually performing at the Spencer Museum of Art. outside for their art exhibition. And all our programs are very different. You'll never see the same thing twice. And that's actually occurring beginning at 8 o'clock. Again, all our performances are outside, and you can socially distance and be safe. The important one also that you want to consider is actually on Sunday at Circle S Ranch and Country Inn. This is a beautiful location right outside of Lawrence. They have a beautiful lawn. They will have some food provided as well. You can actually go to the Circle S Ranch and Country Inn website as well as their Facebook group. And that actually begins at 7:30 p.m. Please come, bring your lawn chairs. Make sure you put on your bug repellent because they eat you. And most important is next week, we are actually performing outside of Theater Lawrence on Friday and Saturday. Friday, we are doing our Un'Opera in Maschera, which is an opera and mask. And we're doing amazing scenes and beautiful singing. And on Saturday, we are doing our musical cabaret. All of this will take place outside. They have built an outside stage. It's in a drive-in style, and you can actually, you buy a ticket per car. And I don't care how many you can pack in. It's per car. But please go to their website and get a reservation. We are very excited. And now for our last number, I want to personally welcome not only a great colleague, but also an amazing performer and educator. This is Dr. Robert McNichols, and he is going to provide something interesting and great. And please give him a round of applause.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to do this song by Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington. As he mentioned, my name is Dr. Robert McNichols Jr. Bless you, brother. And I'm grateful to Hugo and Lawrence Opera Theater for having this opportunity to come out and share some music. You can see that there's lots of minority organizations and groups and people that have been disenfranchised, and the Black Lives Matter movement has just begun to share a new light on that, as well as social media of some of the hurt, the anger, the disenfranchisement. But I'm glad that Hugo had the vision and the courage to be able to take this opportunity, even in the midst of COVID-19, to make a statement as an organization, as a company, as an artist, to bring more representation to the music by Black Americans. So let's give Hugo and Lawrence Opera Theater another round of applause, please. So we were classmates, of course, working on our doctoral degrees here at the University of Kansas. And the way I got around to it was, I hadn't had the opportunity to study a lot of music designed for me. And so I was with Harlem Opera Theater, and they introduced me to this piece, Woman, from the opera Queenie Pie by Duke Ellington. I'm like, what? I'm sure a lot of you are saying. And so I wrote a dissertation. I included this as a chapter in it. The dissertation was African American Art Song Anthology. And I'll just read just a brief snippet from it. Edward Kennedy Ellington was born in Washington, D.C. in 1899. And Queenie Pie is based upon details that Ellington had developed over the course of his career, including the feminine subject upon which the storyline is based. The heroine is meant to reflect the miraculous life of the Harlem beautician and entrepreneur, Madam C.J. Walker. Themes pulled from her life, such as feminine beauty, wealth, Black cultural advancement, became the cornerstones of the opera. And in the opera, if you guys saw the recent documentary, the recent movie that was on, I think it was on Netflix, and you saw that she was always competing against this other beautician. Well, that character makes an appearance in this show and with this aria. So this aria is a woman, and the character singing is Faye, and it says, as Cafe Olay, that's her name, Cafe Olay. A young and beautiful upcoming beautician in Harlem enters, Faye, completely enthralled with her. When he is no longer able to hide his extreme attraction to her, he begins to sing of his suspicion that she must have a special potion that renders him incapable of resisting her. The music of this aria is completely in the form of like a standard jazz piece, and in that vein, you know, since we don't have an orchestra, I thought I'd bring my friend Heinrich along. That's my cello's name. Say hello, Heinrich. Heinrich says, "Sup." So we're gonna do this little jazz interpretation of the aria Woman from Queenie Pie. So somebody just go ahead and deal with that. Just be okay, like, you know, it's okay. Let me get so. One, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Woman, beautiful woman, coming on like crazy. Will she stay or go? Oh, woman, a strange kind of human, being so darn certain that I'll never go. Her secret brew, it fills my cup. What can I do? What can I do to give her? Voluptuous woman, stacking up my daydream with her rosy glow. woman, beautiful woman, coming on like crazy, with a rosy glow, her secret. Oh, it fills my cup. What can I do? What can I do to give up? Oh, 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 woman. Voluptuous woman, coming on like crazy, with a rosy glow, with a rosy glow, with a rosy glow. Thank you.